Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment. I'm ranking and reviewing all of ELO's albums up to Balance of Power. And up next is their 8th album, Discovery. Here's the back. A gatefold. And by the way, my previous review for Out of the Blue, it was a pretty short review. And I've said this once in a while when I do album reviews. And it's not that I don't have confidence in doing YouTube videos. I do. But I know I'm not the greatest reviewer on YouTube. There's many other channels that review that are better at reviewing albums. I just love music, and I think most of my viewers know that and understand my limited professional opinion on doing reviews. So no stress for me. Anyway, this is going to be a longer video because there's much to talk about with this album. So unlike the previous two albums, Out of the Blue and also A New World Record, when this came out, I never bought it. Not that I was against ELO in any way. I really did like the song Don't Bring Me Down, and I used to disc jockey back in the 70s and 80s, and we played that at we played a lot of ELO. At least probably one ELO song at almost every dance, and they always went over very well, of course. And the other I'll just read this. This is from some of it's from Wikipedia, and here it is. Released in June of 1979, Discovery was ELO's 8th studio album. I already said that. It features a polished mixture of pop rock, orchestral pop, and disco, especially on Shine a Little Love and Last Train to London. Richard Tandy jokingly called it Disco Very. And yeah, I'd read that, I didn't realize that at the time throughout the years about this album, but it's, you could read it as Disco Very. It was also the first ELO album to move away from prominently featuring the band's resident string trio. Despite that change, the album retained Jeff Lynne's layered harmonies and blah, blah, blah. It produced 5 major singles and became one of ELO's most commercially successful albums. And I love, for these albums, unless I forget, how they did on the charts. So, in the UK, it was ELO's first #1. Way to go, UK. And it remained at the top for 5 weeks. In Canada, it went to #3. And in the United States, it went to #5 on the Billboard 200. So it did really, really well. Just a sip of green tea. Let's take our time with this review. There's no rush. It's not Rush, it's ELO. Okay, my story with this album is I never heard it until I got the ELO box set a few years back. And I did play it a handful of times, but as always, I have favorites, right? So I would play those a lot more. So I didn't really know this album. And so for this series, the first time I played it in quite a while, maybe 2-3 nights ago. No, at least 3 nights ago. I did not like it. It was really commercial, really disco-y. Not that I'm against, I consider disco music, I call it dance music, right? I love the Beach Boys and their disco era. I know some people don't. I love all of the Bee Gees, 60s and their dance music in the 70s. And even Sparks went disco in 1979 with Number One in Heaven, which I loved. So I'm not against dance music or disco music if it's good. But like I said, the first time I played this, I was already thinking of where I'm going to rank it, and it was going to be at the bottom. And I rank these out of 5 muffins because my name is Canadian Studmuffin. And I couldn't rate it lower than like maybe a 2.5 out of 5 muffins, because like I said, Jeff Lynne knows how to create catchy music even if I don't like it. So at least 2 muffins out of 5. But because I'm doing this series and I take this seriously, I don't just play the album once and rank and review it. I played it the next night and I really started to enjoy the songs. And then I played it 2 more times and I love the album. Now, I will say between side 1 and side 2, I feel side 1 is one of ELO's most perfect sides of music. And side 2 is great too, by the way. So it starts with Shine a Little Love, and that is just such an amazing production by Jeff Lynne. And it's got elements of pop, of course, disco. You can hear the disco beat in it. But what really adds to it is that crunchy guitar riff. It kind of makes it almost like a disco rock song. And it's just, as always, so catchy. So it might be my favorite song on the album. And I am going to be doing a top 20 ELO songs at the end of this, along with Americana Sam, who's got a YouTube channel, and also my buddy Peter Canego. He's a Sparks fan like me. So stay tuned for that. And I also wanted to quickly mention, I bought this the other day. I have not played it yet, and I'm not going to be ranking and reviewing this, but I will talk about it at the end of the series. Excuse me, I got Xanadu, which features one side of ELO songs that I don't think, I might have heard the hit, whatever that was, I'm Alive, was that the hit from it? But the other songs, I have no idea. I've never heard them, but I've heard it's really good. So I'm looking forward to it. Where am I? Okay, we'll go through this a little quicker now. So Confusion, just another great ELO song. Need Her Love is a beautiful ballad. The Diary of Horace Wimp. Like I said, I didn't like that song at first. It was because it was so different for ELO. But I love it now. It's kind of experimental, has this, of course, Beatles vibe to it. So that's great. I know a lot of fans love side 2's opening song, Last Train to London, and they are not wrong. It is one of ELO's great songs, and once again has that disco beat, but it's just so good, right? Then a couple of ballads, and On the Run is great. So I really love side 2. I'm just saying, between the 2 sides, I think side 1 is just a tad stronger. And it ends with Don't Bring Me Down, which is great. I played that many times at dances, to the point of getting tired of it, of course. And it features real drums, but they are formatted as a primitive tape loop rather than a live performance. And Jeff Lynne originally sang the made-up word "groose," if that's how you pronounce it, as a temporary placeholder. After learning it resembled the German word for greeting, he kept it. Fans often heard it as Bruce, so Jeff Lynne later sang Bruce for fun during concerts. And that's the only thing that I always found annoying about it back in the day when I didn't know the story. What is this? Why are they saying Bruce? Doesn't make sense. But now we all know, or at least I know. So I'm going to give it, no surprise, I've got to. 5 out of 5 muffins. They're right there on my coffee table. And one complaint I do get sometimes with some of these album series is you're rating them, you're rating too many of the albums like perfect, right? Well, that is because I'm a big fan of a lot of these artists, right? So I'm gonna love a lot of their albums. And if I see nothing wrong with the album, I don't dislike a song, don't care, I don't dislike production choices or whatever, I'm probably going to give it 5 out of 5 muffins. That's just me. Everybody reviews albums differently. And in my ranking, this one I had to really think about, but I decided Discovery goes into third place. And like I said, the first time I listened to this in a while, I was thinking it would be at the bottom. So that just shows you how music can change the more you listen to it, right? Sometimes. So yeah, it goes in between ELO 2 and a new world record. And up next is Time, which I know is one of ELO fans' favorite albums of theirs. And I have heard it a few times in the past, but it's probably been a few months since I've heard it. So I definitely need to listen to it a few times. So it might take me at least a couple of days, maybe 3 days before the next review. But stay tuned for that. And as always, please remember to thumbs up the video and leave a comment below. And I also wanted to say, this might backfire on me, but doing this series, everybody's in the comment section has been positive. There's been no negativity. Some of you might not agree with my album rankings or that, but that's the way it should be, right? Just, you don't have to agree with me. You can have your own opinions on music, and we can all get along for the most part. And that is it. Have a great day. Goodbye. 14 minutes and 20 seconds. I'll have to edit it.